All right. Welcome to Crown Counsel Live. Grateful to be here with my faithful co-host, Greg Anderson. Welcome, Greg. Welcome, everybody that's watching. Thankful to be here and spend an hour with our community, connecting and hearing from some really fun stories and people today. That's turned out to be one of the coolest things about this, Greg, is not necessarily us being on here talking, but connecting with people that have fun stories to share and to build a community in a way where maybe these stories will be lost. So we've got some great people.
You mean they don't come on just to hear you and I'm devastated.
we edit all that part out, so it's not even.
All right.
So we'll have some conversation that's been going on online, and which is almost always ever present. We're going to talk about insurance, and Steve Anderson, who is boots on the ground with his total patient service coaches. They know everything about insurance and what's happening and kind of like what's changing inside practices. So Steve's going to come on with a short interview that we did with Dr. Joseph Dills. And then we're going to bring on our contest winner from last week, Chelsea Gonzalez. We're grateful to have her joining. She's going to share, she won $1,000 last week on our grand giveaway for the annual event, which is really fun to share with her. We'll have a resource partner join us, and then a retiring charter member of the Crown Counsel. He's going to join us and share some of his wisdom and what he's learned over the years being part of Crown Counsel. So very fun program today. Hopefully it's worthwhile. Yeah.
Hey, we got a little feedback on the giving away $1,000. There's a few people who'd like you to do that again. So
yeah,
bet. You know, you got a little feedback on that.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, they really did it. They really gave away the money." So yeah. Very good. Hey, Greg, talk about Smiles for Life numbers. You're the keeper of the numbers. Yeah, tell us where that number is. We're close to something, big milestone.
Woohoo. As of this morning, we are, without counting the money from yesterday, we're at $955,000. So before the weekend, we'll be at $1 million. That is a significant milestone. And I never want to be calloused to that. That's a lot of money, and it takes a lot of effort from a lot of people, a lot of generosity out of Ultradent, and the service that's given in every dental practice. And the thing that's heartwarming is we had a hard time getting to $1 million last year, as you may remember, because of COVID, and we ended up, I think, at about $1.2 million by the time the campaign ended, and we'll blow right through that. And we'll be back at 2019 levels shortly. And congratulations to everybody that is doing good.
Yeah. That's a major announcement for Smiles for Life Whitening. Is we are thousands of dollars away from the $1 million mark this year. So big congratulations to everybody that plays a part, patients, teams, and partners like Ultradent, My Social Practice, Trays, everyone that makes it possible for the charity to be successful. I agree. $1 million after 25 years is like, oh, great. But it is an incredible amount of giving. So thanks to everybody. Annual event signups for Salt Lake City have really started to pick up. We have about 100 seats left in the Grand America Hotel for the annual event 2023. That's the 28th annual event. So as an announcement to anybody watching and wanting to participate, we encourage you to sign up early and get your team registered and on board for participating in the annual gathering of the Crown Counsel membership. So everyone will come together in Salt Lake City at the end of January in 2023. And it's the place to be to gather your team with the rest of the like-minded Eagles of this group. So join us. Hey, Greg. All right. Are you ready to bring in Steve?
I am.
All right. Let's bring Steve in, and we'll welcome him and have him talk about dental insurance in the practice and kind of the new territory that we're marching down with insurance and practices and what he's seen boots on the ground. Hey, Steve.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody?
Good morning.
Things are great. We're off. We're live. We're grateful to have you on. Thankful for time you'll share with us. I know that things are a little are changing when it comes to insurance, and you've got a new live program that we're going to encourage everyone to be a part of in August. But maybe before we launch our little interview with Joseph, with Dr. Dills, talk about how this kind of came about. What were you seeing when it comes to insurance that's changing in dental practices?
Yeah, it has become the most frequently asked question. In fact, we'll play this little clip with my conversation with Dr. Joe Dills early this morning before he started seeing patients. I grabbed him to share his experience. The dynamics going on here, inflation's driving the cost of running a practice up. So supply costs are up, lab costs are up. Most everything in the practice has gone up. And for some strange reason, it makes absolutely no logical sense. Insurance companies are decreasing reimbursement rates.
Right.
It's like it defies all logic in business. And so it's forcing the question, should I be insurance free? I can't, it's not sustainable the way I'm doing it. I can't continue to pay more to run my business and get paid less. That doesn't make sense. So there's got to be a different path, a different way to go. So the question is being asked all over the country. We're dealing with it every day with practices that are dealing with this all over the country. So Stu, let's play this clip from Dr. Dills. He kind of gives their personal experience, large practice. They have 9 partners in their single location practice in Missouri. It's one of my many favorite practices around the country, just the story, the legacy that they've created there. And backs pushed up against the wall, and they called me at the precise moment. If it had been one day later, it may have been too late. So listen to what he says. It's great.
Okay.
So Dr. Joe Dills, welcome from Springfield, Missouri, Parkcrest Dental. And we've worked together for a long time, and great to be with you. And thanks for taking a minute to share your experience.
Sure.
Real quick, Missouri, give us just the quick color commentary of what you have been faced with in the last 6 months in your state, as far as some of the larger insurance providers.
So good question. The biggest thing that we're faced with, as I think everybody else across the country, is you've got increased staff costs because you got to pay people more to keep them. You've got increased supply costs because everything costs more. And you've got insurance companies, in particular Delta, writing letters at the last minute saying, by the way, we're going to A, cut your reimbursements, or B, ask you to participate in ways that make us exclusive. In other words, if you want to do business with us and get paid anything reasonable, you got to get rid of every other insurance company you've got.
Well, and I think in your case, they did away with Delta Premier pretty much overnight and said you're now a PPO provider.
Yeah. So write-offs have been increased significantly because of that. And in the face of rising costs to do business, that's not looking real good on the overhead P&L lines at all. So what we were faced with is, what do we do? Right?
Yeah, what do you do? And I think the immediate reaction that a lot of the practices around you, they made a knee-jerk decision and pretty much opted out immediately. I think sent a letter to the insurance company and sent a letter to the patients, and you guys got flooded with new patient calls.
Yeah, we did. So the question becomes, do we just accept that as, hey, what a windfall, this is great? Or do we do the same thing and we opt out of those plans?
Yeah.
You can't operate a business that runs somewhere between 60 and 70% overhead if you're writing off 10, 20% more.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And so we have no recourse, right? If we're members of those organizations, we can't raise our fees because it does absolutely nothing. We're not going to get reimbursed. So the only way we can operate as a business is, one, cut your supplies. We can't do that. We got to do business. Fire staff. We can't do that. Raise fees, right? Well, we can't do that if we're participating on these levels. You just can't do business that way. not to mention that way that they did business was not transparent at all.
Right.
I don't want to be in a relationship like that. So hence the call to my friend Steve and Tops, guys, how do we navigate this without self-destructing?
And the first, I think one of the most important things to recognize here is the first reaction. And you made the call at exactly the right time, because the last thing I said in there, you've got a few business partners. You're not flying solo here. You've got
there's 8 of us. Yeah.
in the country. You guys got an amazing setup, and everybody's first reaction was to do what?
Write the letter, man. Tell the patients what's going on.
Right.
And I mean, we had the letter written. The letter was done, proofread, and
It was
about ready to stamp
drafted
it.
and ready to go out the door.
And so, hey, Steve, you want to proofread this? No.
No, not going to proofread it, and we're not going to send the letter. So I think the first lesson, and we repeat this on a regular basis, don't send the letter. Even if you've made the decision, don't send the letter until you walk through a very sequenced, proven path to retain the maximum number of your patients. Anytime there's change, you're going to have concern, anxiety on everybody's part. And so, one, there's a way to make the right decision. And then number two, there's a right way to implement it so that you maintain the maximum number of patients. And that's the whole goal. So you guys have made your decision. Now it's, we're walking through the step-by-step implementation of that for patient retention.
That's working pretty well, Steve. Those conversations initially can be challenging, but after you have that 30-second to a minute conversation over the course of a week, it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
The idea was to tell the patients face-to-face what's going to change, so that when it does change, it's not a shock. It's a relationship that we have with you, Mrs. Jones. We like you. We've known you for years, and we don't feel we were done right. We don't want to do the same to you. So here's what's going on. Like I said, 30 seconds to a minute conversation, and they're, oh, okay. Yep. Well, we'll see you this fall.
Yeah.
So we set a date. Here's when we're going to severance with Delta. We're going to run through a full hygiene cycle and see those patients, right? And the usual patients that come in, having those conversations with them. Next time you come in, we'll still see you. Everything's going to be fine. You just pay us, and then a few weeks later, you'll get whatever Delta's going to pay you back.
Yeah. So it's all about the relationship, and all about having the systems in place to do it correctly. So I guess the best word picture, Joe, did you ever have anybody that broke up with you in like high school or college? Anybody you're dating?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is the difference, is if you can do it the right way, you don't break up in writing, you do it face to face.
It's not you, it's me, right?
Right. So there's
it really was Delta. It really was the insurance company, not us.
So bottom line is, and hats off to you guys for doing it the right way, because I think one of the big outcomes here is you've reaped a big windfall because of the practices who haven't done it correctly in your area. You got a lot of those patients, and now you're able to convert a lot of those patients to stay with you because you're doing it the right way. So it's making the right decision based on the right data. And then number two, implementing it correctly so the practice is the healthiest possible. So thanks for sharing your experience. Any advice you'd have for other Crown Council members faced with a similar decision?
Here's the thing. Most decisions that we've made, if we bounce them off of Tops and the organization you guys have got, it works better. The systems you guys have helped us implement over the years, the way you coach us through things, it's incredibly valuable. You can't really say how valuable your advice is because the team you guys have and how that's disseminated back through us. All 8 of the partners and I are incredibly grateful to you guys, really and truly. You've helped us navigate a lot of, global pandemic, the end of the world. And here we are still going. So.
Here we are today. So we always say that every top team has a coach, and thanks for allowing the TOPS team to be your coach. You guys are great implementers, and the outcome of this crossroads is turning out very, very positive. So that's the name of the game.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Joe, thanks for sharing your experience this morning.
Glad to do it. Hey.
There it is.
Perfect. All right. So interesting case study and still in progress. Their patient retention is very, very high. And I think if there's one big takeaway, I said it in my conversation with Joe, I say it almost every day. Don't send the letter.
Send a text.
Don't send the text. I can't tell you how many different scenarios there are in dentistry. And this is not the only one. Where I don't know what it is. Everybody's knee-jerk reaction is they want to send a letter out to everybody. So if you are tempted, if there's one takeaway from this, if you're tempted to send a letter to your patients about anything, call us first, because more often than not, the letter is not the first thing you should be sending out. It's all about the relationship. So because of the prevalence of this issue and how much we're dealing with it, we put together a special course, Should You Be Insurance Free? It is August 5th and 6th. It's 2 days. We're going to walk through the math that can be customized to any practice. You have to make the decision based on sound data. And then number two, how do you implement that decision to maximize patient retention and continue growing the practice? There's no one right answer for everybody. It may mean staying in network. It may mean going out of network. It may mean both. Every practice is different. Every market is different. Every patient base is different. Doing it based on sound principles is the key. You can make your own decision, implement it with proven systems that have been shown to work to get the very best result you want. It's a decision everybody's faced with right now.
Right.
So better to make the decision sooner than later on the right data. And whatever decision you make, don't send the letter until you talk to us first. There is a better way.
Nice.
Steve, I know that you've given some real thought to this, the program. And I think that part of this is let's get everybody in the same room where we can talk about it together. But who do you want in the room? I mean, I'm sure you want the doctor who is the decision maker. Is there anybody else from the team that ought to be part of that decision process besides the guy that writes the letter?
What I'd recommend is owner doctor for sure. Spouse would be very appropriate. This is a big big business decision you're going to make, and key team members. So anybody that you rely on in the practice to implement your decisions. So key business team members, maybe even some of your clinical team members. So the ones that are going to be part of your implementation team that you rely on. So key team members are always a suggestion. So if you have any questions, here's what I'd recommend. TotalPatientService.com. We've got all the information on the course. Call us if you have questions about specifics. Again, this is specific to every practice, and there's a lot of issues to consider before you make any move at all.
Great. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for that interview with Joseph. Hopefully he watches it. Very helpful. That was great to bring him in. I know, a lot of people we ask to be on live, they're working. So that makes sense. So it was great.
And he is working today. I grabbed him right before he saw his first patient this morning, and
cool.
And that they're doing this every day. I mean, they are working on this equation every day, and taking it over the goal line here in just a couple months. So
very cool. All right,
Thanks,
Steve. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on to a new segment. Dr. Chelsea Gonzalez is going to join us. Yes, she's in the waiting room. We're going to bring her in. Dr. Gonzalez has been attending the annual event. So they have not, since she's been a Crown Council member, she has not missed. She brings her team every year. So it was very fun to watch her win. And I know that Rachel here at the Crown Council office shipped off all the money to her UPS. And in typical UPS fashion, I don't think that the money has arrived yet.
No, wait. The second day air envelope that was mailed on Monday is going to arrive there next Tuesday. I'm sure it's a supply chain
Perfect.
problem.
Perfect. So anyway, if Chelsea's here, we'd love to. I know she's in the waiting room. We'd love to bring her in, but she is. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're live with the rest of the Crown Council membership, so we're grateful to have you on. Thanks for spending just a few minutes. I mean, I know we're paying you $1,000 to be on, but it's
You're the big winner.
Big winner.
I know. I was pretty surprised.
I'm sorry the envelope didn't make it. UPS really did a job for us. It was supposed to be a big surprise.
Well, I got a surprise via email and text. So that was a great surprise.
Maybe you could tell us a bit about, I mean, congratulations, obviously. Maybe you could tell us why your practice makes coming to the annual event a priority. You guys, I mean, you never miss, and it's so fun that you're always there. Why is that? Why is that a thing?
We really enjoy the annual event. Mostly the biggest thing when I think about that is that we try to create a culture of really trying to continuously improve ourselves and create a culture of like personal growth and development here at our practice. And so we find that going to the annual event like just really reinforces that culture. And it also really unites our team and reinforces like a lot of the principles that we try to place in the culture of the practice. So we feel like it really like sets us on the right foot for the starting off the new year.
Very cool. And I know, people always ask us, should I go on my own? Should I attend with my team? Like if somebody's going to be going for the first time or a team is out there wondering what they should do, what is the one thing that you would say to a team attending who's never been that would help them make the best out of attending?
Well, I would say it's really important to be ready to just really engage and go with an open mind, because I feel like some of the best practices in the country are there. And so it's like a really great opportunity to connect with people who are doing really great things in their community and in their practices. So I feel like that's really important, is to be ready to engage. And then Gabe and I, my husband, Gabe and I really like to bring as many team members as possible, because you're going to get a lot of really great nuggets when you're there that, the more people you have there, they can bring back those things that you've learned and like really reinforce it with the rest of the team or your patients and even your families. And so those are my tips.
So don't sit at the table by yourself and not talk to anyone. No.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. I feel like that's one of the best things, is really being able to interact with the other people that are there, because there's some really amazing people out there, and it makes you want to be a better person when you see all these other great people doing great things.
That's cool. Great
Sweet
advice. Gregor, any questions for?
No, it's just fun to see her smile.
It is fun.
Thanks for. Before you know it, January will be here. You think it's a long time away, but it's not. So.
I know it's going to be here before you know it. We're really excited.
That's our life. That's our life. A perpetual creation of annual events. That's just all we do. It's just.
And I get to enjoy it.
Thanks for spending the time. I know we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Let us know.
We'll see you guys actually, we'll see you sooner than that at the Leadership Academy.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Well, good luck with the $1,000. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. See ya.
Bye.
She was even part of the Young Dentist program. So a fun way to kind of transition into being part of full-time membership and bringing her team to the event. And man, just a great opportunity for her to win and get back a little, a fun way to celebrate with her. Gregor, it is often said, like that question often comes up, should I come alone? Some offices use the annual event as a way to, it's just the spouse and the doctor as a fun way to kind of start the year. Maybe walk through what you see. the difference between that. I'm just going to come as a doctor and a spouse, or I'm going to attend with my team,
I think it
the annual
depends
event experience.
a lot on what your goals are. From the beginning, we have organized the annual event at the beginning of the year as a way to, get out of the holiday season and look at the new opportunities that are ahead for the year, set some milestones for the year that you can achieve. And as I have always said at the beginning of every annual event meeting, it is meant to make you learn something and feel something, but leave motivated to go and do something. And part of the challenge of that is that you go to the meeting and you get all enthused and you're ready to make the change. And then you get back to the office. And if there are people there who didn't go to the meeting with you, then they don't share in that. They didn't get the feeling. They may have got the information because you've shared it with them, but they didn't get that motivational feeling. And so the more people you can have there that can share in that same motivation so that you can refer to it, and say, hey, remember when so-and-so said this? I mean, there are a lot of people. I know that one doctor, for instance, has in their weekly team meetings, go over something that they learned at the annual event to help refresh that memory and refresh the goals that were set. Because the whole goal is to create a culture of success in the practice. And that can't be done by the leader alone. Leaders got to have the rest of the group there to create the culture, because we all are the culture. So if it were me, and I know it's a big expense, but I mean, I know that those who do it are never sorry.
I agree, especially when they are working on becoming qualified members, submitting recognition awards so they can be on stage together. They're making the $10,000 donation for Smiles for Life, so they're recognized together on stage, and it really brings a team together when they attend together. I agree. I mean, I guess you could argue both ways, that it's a fun way to reset as a doctor and a spouse, to set goals and reevaluate motivation and whatnot. But definitely an incredible experience as a team member to join the annual event as a group. Very good. Maybe Greg, talk for 1 second about the 2 speakers we have lined up to come to the annual event. Can you do that?
Actually, we're just about done with the full slate, but not ready to announce the last 2 yet. We're still in contract with them. But John Acuff has spoken at the Crown Council before. And we spoke to John about some specific things that he has an ability to communicate that we wanted as part of the program. And a good part of it comes out of his new book, which is called Soundtracks. And a soundtrack, you remember early on in our Crown Council life, one of the things that happens when you go to total immersion and you're inside the experience of the Crown Council and our meetings is we talk about the voice in your head. That 95% of the things that you hear are the things that you're saying to yourself. And John has a unique new way to help reframe the voice that's in your head. And so we have asked him to do some very dental specific things about how to reframe the soundtracks that are in your head.
Very cool.
James Lawrence lived the hardest 100 days of his life, doing a triathlon every day for 100 days. And while we are not going to set a goal for every member of the Crown Council to do a triathlon every day for 100 days, the story of that journey is riveting. And the point I hope that he will make, and that we've asked him to make, is how we can frame our minds to take a period of time and achieve something that is very specific and very measurable, and do it in a more of a public way where we have some accountability. And I think we will find it not only helpful, but I think it will add a little different perspective on that than we have seen in the past. So very excited about that. And of course, Steve's got a great new presentation that he is going to do. And I haven't asked him if I can talk yet about what he's planned. He takes a whole year planning that. Says it's the hardest thing he does to present at the annual event. And so I'll let him maybe do that. Maybe next week or the week after, we could have him explain what he's going to do. But it is a great topic. He, as you remember, did the bicycle book thing last year about the lessons he learned on a newspaper route. Many of those lessons I learned with him. And he's got something equally as helpful this year.
Very good. Hey, Greg, while we wait for our guests to arrive, we've got one that's maybe busy, not going to join us, but that's fun. That's the fun part about being on our live stream, is being able to talk and connect with our community and at least share a few things that are, helping us, helping each other, helping the community, things that we're learning and things that we're seeing. Anything that you are seeing right now that's happening in the, we have a very interesting view of the Crown Council dental practices. We see it from a 30,000 foot perspective, all of these different practices, how they're interacting with each other and how they're interacting with their communities. Anything that you're seeing now that practices are doing that seem to be helping as they kind of revamp their offices to start back up from the pandemic?
First of all, keeping good people is hard. Keeping good people is very hard. And a lot of the phone calls that we are getting right now are discussions about ways that dental practices can do a better job of keeping the good employees that they have happy and engaged, and being sure that they have a voice in what's going on in the practice. And much of that is built in the core culture of the practice. If you have a good practice culture, if your culture guide is well done and it's something that you talk about every week, that's much easier. But if it's not, I can say that getting together with your team and being sure that your culture guide is current and that everybody that's in the room has a voice. All the voices are not going to be the same. I'm not saying that there's dissent, but there is always a challenge when someone agrees to a part of your culture out of duress. So being sure that your culture guide is current, certainly something that we have talked about. I would echo what Steve said about insurance. We do the dental fee reports here, which any Crown Council member can ask anytime. We're happy to send you a dental fee report for your practice that is specific to your zip code, to see where your fees are in line with the people that are around you. But fees are becoming more and more of a thing. And knowing that the reimbursement costs are going down and fees, while some are going up, the tendency is not to raise them. And there's a way to do that. That's something you want to do. And that's a whole nother seminar. But we have a lot of conversations about the dental fee report and specifically how to use it when you get it.
Nice. Another thing that we have seen happening is, and we're going to bring our resource partner in to talk about this, is we thought this would be a very relevant topic. So Brent Pinnell is going to join us from Control Alt Protect. And from our view, a very interesting thing has happened where more and more hacking is taking place, or cybercrime. You would be surprised how many Crown Council members have actually been held ransom for their own office lists and office computers. So they arrive at the practice and the screens are black and it says, please log on to such and such to regain control of your computers. And so we at the Crown Council love the resource partner, Brent Pinnell at Control Alt Protect, to share with some of the Crown Council members what he has seen, what their company has seen that can be done in order to protect their own servers, their own office lists, and everything that they're doing to make sure that they are safe when it comes to protecting their offices. So, Brent, you there? Your video? Are you? Hey, what's up, man? How are
here.
You? Good.
Doing well. Obviously, in between calls with incident response in our world, never a dull moment. So
you're like a true crimes investigator. I can't imagine what you do day to day. Maybe we should start there. I mean, what
is the state of the industry?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
What's happening?
Well, I think you guys know this. I am a forensic data security investigator, and so certified in mobile and digital forensics. So we get called after the milk is spilled, and unfortunately, we look at a lot of long faces and a lot of business owners, dentists, CPAs, attorneys that unfortunately have not invested in data security, and it's never going to happen to them. And I can tell you, the stats don't lie. We say this stuff until we're blue in the face, and we get a lot of the same response across the country, and we're losing a war because our business owners still think they don't have to wear their safety belts. And I'm going to give you a quick stat. 72% of the data security attacks last year, according to CrowdStrike, were non-malware related. So what does that mean?
Yeah. Explain
that. That means fileless malware. So that means your antivirus is worthless. So we see three things with most incident response. And, the one we just came from, the victim says, never thought I'd be a victim, number one, until I was a victim. I didn't think anybody wanted my data. And number three, I thought my IT guy had me covered. So what we tell people is we don't replace IT companies. We save their jobs, and we save you as a company. And I say that in the most respectful and humble way we can. So if you're a dentist, new, seasoned, you probably have an very competent IT person that has come in and can set up your infrastructure. But I ask you to slow down and just make this analogy. At your home, your smoke detectors, if you have a fire, why is your water company not monitoring your smoke detector? Right? So we need to think of data security and technology in the same way. Your IT guys do not know what to do with data security attacks, except this. Oh, well, we'll just wipe that server, or we'll just wipe that device. Well, here's the problem with that. As a dentist, your CPA may have been the vector that caused you to be hacked. One of your customers may have caused you to be hacked. So if you wipe it, you've wiped all of your defense forensically to go back and hold them accountable, or their insurance company accountable, and save your own business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Aside from the fact that you can't wipe somebody's computer and have it come out good. There's no way to wipe your computer. There's no way to wipe your computer and have that be a good experience.
Exactly. Yeah. The attorney that literally he was down one day without his laptop, and given he's a boutique, he's an attorney for other attorneys, but he said to me, Brent, it cost me almost $30,000 to be down one day. So, I make this saying all the time. Some people need to eat windshields. It's not 1985. If you don't have hacking detection in place and you're trusting your IT guy, you're in trouble. And it's just the facts. So we'd certainly love an opportunity to show you that and help. We put out fires all the time, but our goal is to consult and prevent the problems. And until we take a proactive approach to data security, this problem's not going to get any better.
Dang. Man, Brent, I can't imagine what you do for a job. I admire you, and at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I would want to do this job.
We're glad you're out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you are too.
We've been very blessed. We were fortunate enough to help a Ukrainian maternity hospital recover from ransom attack, and that was not a ransom attack. That was just an encryption act of war. and we did not charge them. And that was, so we have some pretty unique opportunities. Cyber nerds are, we're definitely a different breed, but we're just never dull in what we do.
Nice. Well, thank you for being part of Crown Council Resource Partners. When you jump off, I'm going to show everybody how to connect with you, your
Sure.
website, your phone number, and email. Make sure that they can reach out to you for any help that they need. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for the time. You guys have a great day.
Okay, Brent. See
All
ya.
right. See you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk through just real quick. Hopefully it'll work here. You see my screen, Greg?
I can.
Okay. So if you're on crowncouncil.com, the first thing that you'll want to do is click up here under my directory. And in my directory, you'll see multiple hubs. These are different products or services that are being provided by the Crown Council to you. So Premium Member Hub is something that you'll see, but you'll want to scroll all the way down to the bottom in most cases, and you will want to click on Resource Partners. And in this Resource Partners tab, you have multiple different services listed or categories listed. That will kind of help you navigate to where you want to be and who you want to connect with. So under data technology, you'll see Control Alt Protect, and Brent's company is here. Website, phone number, key contact is Brent. He's the man that has come to our annual events. He's done multiple webinars now for the Crown Council to offer some advice and connect you with all the different products and things that you'll need to be in place to make sure that your office is protected. Incredible service. Like, I can't imagine what his day looks like.
Hey, well, one thing about Brent is they'll do a free look at your office and your computers. That's right. And he is really good at saying, this is what you're doing well, and this is what you're not, and this is what we think would help patch some of the holes that you have. I think we all know that feeling when we turn on the computer and you get a blue screen just from a hard drive failure. Imagine somebody that's actually hacked your data and now you've got to repair all the data problems. But yeah, he's worth spending a few minutes with.
I agree.
Well worth your time.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, and I agree. I think that same sentiment can be said of anyone, which is, oh, I can't believe that. I mean, who is going to pipe up and say, well, I knew it was going to happen to me? I mean, of course, no one would expect it to happen. So
I know of 2 Crown Council members that I can think of right now who have spent more than $1 million a piece because they were hacked. And I mean, those are just the 2 that come to mind that spent 7 figures. So I know it happens.
Yeah.
And it's worth protecting yourself.
Yeah. What a great resource partner. One of those that just makes this resource partner group so valuable to Crown Council members, that you can call a guy that we trust, that has been using his services in multiple different practices across the United States. I mean, this is not like a rogue protection company. I mean, he is, we know a lot about Brent. We know a lot about his service, and we've met him multiple times at the annual event. And I didn't know this, but Brent spends a lot of time speaking at dental meetings and conventions around the country, offering advice and sharing his service and wisdom when it comes to being a computer. I love how he calls himself a computer nerd. That's my favorite part. So, and
the fact that you caught him out putting out a fire.
I think he was driving while he was talking.
He was, which I'm sure is not in anybody's book of the things that you ought to be doing.
Well, when he said put on your seatbelt, I'm like,
did you look to see? I did.
Wouldn't it be ironic if he didn't have his on? So anyway, not funny, but kind of funny. So anyway, well, I've texted our Crown Council member who is going to be joining us. Maybe he's held up or he's struggling with technology.
We'll catch him next week.
Yeah, we'll reconnect and see if we can catch him. Maybe we'll catch him on a Mentor of the Month or connect with him in a way where he can share his advice. It was really fun to hear from some of our Crown Council members who have really lived it. They're reaching the end of their career, and they've spent a lot of time building a practice, building a team, and now they're transitioning on to something else. And we'll connect with this member again and hopefully have him share some information with us about that. So anyway, Greg, we're a little early. We're 15 minutes coming off. Anything else you want to yarn on about?
No, looking forward to kind of a nice weekend here, the beginning of summer.
He's being modest. Crown Council members, this is an opportunity for you to wish Greg Anderson a happy birthday, May 29th.
Sunday, that's right. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Sunday's the big Crown Council birthday for our fearless leader. So grateful to celebrate his birth. It's always over my favorite weekend of the year. So anyway, happy birthday, Greg.
Thank you, Stu.
All right, everybody, we're going to sign off. Thanks for joining us, and appreciate all our guests that we had on that spent the time to be with us. Till next week.
Stu.
All right, we'll see you.